everyone. How are you doing? No one else was doing a space. No one else whom I like to talk to, that is. So, decided to do one. Are we going to have war in Lebanon? Should we talk about that? Are there better things to talk about? Perhaps. I am interested if someone has a perspective on the imminent, it seems, war between Israel and Lebanon. I woke up this morning to see some very devastating images coming from there. Bombing of Hamas headquarters, at least allegedly. I don't know how Iran can't respond in some way. I don't know how this isn't going to be a regional war. Those are just some of my thoughts. But on another note, if you don't want to talk about that, I am I the only one, perhaps I am, who is interested in Major League
Oh,
Baseball?
I love baseball.
Well, there are a couple of things that I want to talk about. I could save this for my own Substack group or something because I I could be like, oh, I'll talk about whatever I want to. Well, one thing, so the Oakland A situation. Um, they they had their last game at Oakland Coliseum, which I had never been there, and I presume they're tearing it down or something. That maybe I'm wrong about that. I had never seen a game there, but they did have some fun teams over the years. I remember when I was very young in the mid to late 80s, like when I was just learning about baseball itself, and it was Canseco and McGuire, and they were just totally awesome. For performance enhancement drug awesome, as we learned in the early 2000s, actually. Uh, and before that, before I was born, or when I was very young in the 70s, they also had some like colorful characters play in Oakland, and then later on, they did quite well. The movie Moneyball, I think is I've never read the book. I bet it's probably a decent listen on Audible, but the Moneyball movie sort of mischaracterized a lot of things. Pitching being most obvious, but other things that mischaracterize. But it's a good flick. It's a kind of like hero story of nerds,
It's a very good
basically.
movie, Richard. It's the movie. It starts out things can't go any worse, and then they get it going, and you get that satisfaction of seeing that play out. The Jonah Hill character, he's still
Yes,
fat, he's still very funny, he's still dynamic. Brad
yes.
Pitt's very good. Brad Pitt's
It was interesting how they hired Jonah Hill and they made, I'm forgetting the name of the person who actually was a Yale graduate, very smart, and brought Bill James thinking to baseball, to Major League Baseball. Bill James had been a writer for decades. He's kind of like a all-purpose curmudgeon. I think he's even done like true crime and other things. I follow him on Twitter. He's very interesting. He's a curmudgeon. He's a contrarian. He is counterintuitive. He's willing to just call people out and say they're doing the wrong thing. And so it might have it might have brought some, in a way, bad things to baseball. But anyway, that revolution has taken place, and basically all the teams use advanced analytics. All the teams think in this new way. This is just one instance, and I'll go into this before I start talking about the A's. We're just avoiding talking about Lebanon, which is maybe good. But whenever I play baseball for my entire life, the idea of getting someone gets on base, say the leadoff hitter works a walk, you bunt him to second. The next player up has to sacrifice himself, in fact, bunting him to second base, give up the out, and then go off the field getting handshakes. So what a selfless act to bunt him over. And the coach gets patted on the back as well for being so strategic and so on. The fact is, I mean, this is just a colorful example of what Bill James like thinking or sabermetrics brought. You should never bunt in that situation ever. You are simply harming your ability to score runs. Um, Basically, oh, Zag dropped out there. I'll let him back up. Basically, if you have a man on first, and I don't know the exact statistics, but you can look these up. If there is a man on first and there is nobody out, he has, let's say, a 55% chance of scoring. If there is a man on second, but there's one out, then he has a 45% chance of scoring. So by bunting him over, and again, these might not be the exact percentages, but just, I'm making a point. By bunting him over and giving up the out, you are harming your chances to score a run. So you should just allow the guy to swing away. There are a million ways of scoring, and you're reducing those millions of ways of scoring by getting another out. So it's that type of thinking that is counterintuitive just because we've always done it the other way that they brought in here. Another way of the kind of Moneyball era is, and this was well conveyed by the movie, of just get on base. If you walk, you're on base. A walk is as good as a single. A walk doesn't improve your batting average, and everyone wants you want to bat 300 or whatever. Well, the guy who walks 3 times, strikes out the next 3 at bats, and hits a home run is doing more for the team than the guy who gets 4 singles, let's say. He is producing more, he's more valuable. This is the way of thinking that, again, Bill James brought, that they did with Moneyball. This was actually well conveyed by the movie. Anyway, the A's, they're not a, I mean, they're a long-standing team. They were one of the old franchises in, Philadelphia. I think they were like the Kansas City A's. I don't know. The Oakland A's were just pretty cool, I have to say. I like the green and gold uniforms. It's a bit, it feels a little 70s. It's not the Yankees exactly. It's just a cool thing. And I don't know. I think it is. I think it's rather sad. I think it's rather sad that they're going away. They're going to go to Vegas or something. I mean, should Vegas have a team? Does anyone actually live in Vegas? It's a
No.
bit, I guess, a bit like Manhattan, where no one is from there. Like there are native New Yorkers, of course, but it's like 95% of the people will live there for 5 years or maybe 10 years and then move the first chance they get. They go there to make money. They're not really from there. It's all money, 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 money. Isn't Vegas? I mean, I'm not. Isn't Vegas the same way? Like, should Vegas have a team? I mean, isn't
Wait,
that kind of?
Richard,
I don't
wait,
know.
wait. I got
Yeah,
questions. So, so one
yeah.
grand slam is better than just 4 good hits.
Well, yeah. I mean, 4 good hits don't necessarily produce a run. A home run always
All right,
produces a
I
run.
just wanted to, I
So,
just wanted to clarify.
and it's worth it. So like batting average is a sort. Everyone knows
God,
batting average. If you know any statistic from baseball, you know batting average. Batting average is pretty deceptive. Batting average does not count walks. So that doesn't count as an at bat. So it's not in the it's not in the bottom of the fraction, the denominator. Um, and so it's not really rewarding walks. And a home run is the same as a single. The fact is, it's better to sell out and try to hit a home run than it is to slap a single and get thrown out,
so you'd rather have
on
you'd
a
rather
fielder's
have the
choice.
one good than four whatever, right?
Correct.
Yes, yes.
For instance, that one of the people who's like a darling of Bill James or sabermetrics thinking is Rob Deere. And I remember Rob Deere. Zaganol, are you old enough to know who Rob Deere is?
Yeah.
You know who Rob Deere is? Okay. So he was an awesome fielder. So he had a huge arm. He was great in the field. But at the plate, he was almost like an ongoing joke. It was all or nothing. But he also would work walks. So basically, he was strong and athletic, so he could hit home runs. But he just didn't have the hand-eye coordination, or maybe he just was so impulsive that he just like swing for the fences every time. But weirdly, he would work walks. He was an ongoing joke. I remember he played for the Red Sox for like half a year at one time, and the first at bat he hit a home run, and then he like struck out a million times. The fact is, he is more valuable than the guy hitting 300 because you want to swing, you want to go for it, you want to swing for the fences. Pure batting average counts a single as the same value as a triple. It's ridiculous. Those are obviously not of the same value. So slugging is starting to get at this. It's kind of a batting average that is, weighted for the amount of bases that you earn with every hit. And now they have like OPS, which is on base percentage plus slugging. So you're getting at like a total picture of what you're doing. And again, at least in my limited knowledge of baseball, this was not how managers thought. This is not how general managers thought. They just weren't looking at these kinds of things. And the Oakland A's were more or less the first ones to do it. Theo Epstein, young guy with the Boston Red Sox, he turned the page. They won a World Series in 2004. And now it's just omnipresent. But anyway, the A's were part of that story. I think it's pretty sad that they're going. And again, it's just sort of weird to have. I mean, I know a ton of people live in Vegas, but it's just, I don't know. It's kind of weird for Vegas to have a team. Just some thoughts.
Vegas shouldn't continue to be rewarded with all these sports teams, given what happens in Vegas. I think
Yeah.
we're sort of glorifying that too much. It's in the United States. There used to be sort of gambling hubs or havens, and now it's like every state allows gambling, and there are major casinos and sports books, and now Vegas has pro sports teams. We used to sort of keep tabs on the mob, and now that's clearly not the case. I mean, if you're getting pro
The other
sports,
thing, the omnipresence presence of gambling. I mean, it's like gambling used to be this. It's a vice, and you have to go to some particular place to take part in this vice. Now, sports gambling, particularly in the NFL, is just omnipresent. Everyone's doing it, and it's all fun and games. Like obviously, if you throw $50, at your favorite team on the weekend, whatever, I mean, it's not a big deal. You'll probably just even out. Actually, you'll. Um, remember one time I went to the horse races with my grandparents, and they I was like betting, $20 on races. And I remember I won one. And so I was like, oh wow, look at this. I like made $100 or something. And I just discounted the other 6 races where I lost. They're like, yeah, you won. But anyway, the guy throwing $50 on his favorite team once a week, and the NFL, there's so much parity. It's probably just all evened out. But it's like you actually look at these things. There was a report, I forgot where it was. It was like in the Atlantic or something, of like devastating anecdotes, but also just overall devastation due to all these people gambling. Like these guys are throwing down $1,000 every week. They're throwing down $10,000 every week. They're losing tens of thousands of dollars, losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, losing their livelihood, committing suicide due to sports gambling. It's just horrible. Just stupid.
Actually, I mean, Richard, a friend and I I don't know how much I should say about this, but over the last couple of years, through these sports books, FanDuel, BetMGM, Caesars, DraftKings, there's about 9 or 10 of them. We have a
Yeah.
subscription to a prognosticator's site. And with the prognosticator site, and we use like ourself, and if you take some early losses planned through the bonus that they offer, and then make good bets and win 77.8% of the time,
Hmm.
we've made people have made some of us have made hundreds of thousands of dollars offsetting bets perfectly legally on
Wow.
these
How much
sites.
does the
Yeah,
subscription cost?
like $100 a month.
Do they have a proven record?
Yeah, I mean, like you. So what happens is if you win someplace, you get fewer. If you keep winning somewhere, eventually they'll cut you off because you make the minimum bets once you receive the bonus. And so the
Hmm.
sign up bonuses can proffer like 18, 24, like $30,000 matches if you put that into the account. So the Uncle Sam, and we've had spaces about this, is giving incentive for people to gamble. And Uncle Sam's not even demanding that you declare income on this because they make so much money. So some accountants would even tell you don't do it. Now, of course, one should do that. It's a simple form to fill out. I do it. Many people do it. But they make so much money hand over fist that government doesn't even care, because if they really cared about losing money on this, they would not allow it.
Yeah.
But it's allowed, and it's in fact promoted because, as we were talking about, Richard, everyone gambles with emotion. Like the guy that bets on his favorite couple teams, college and pro, each week, and the team ends up going, 4-13 that year. Okay, so he loses most of his money, and the team ends up sucking for the next like 6-7 years.
Yeah.
So, like that's the average
Isn't
sort of
it asking
idiot.
for trouble as well? Like particularly in college sports. I mean, there are famous gambling stories, like the Black Sox scandal and Shoeless Joe Jackson being the most notorious. But particularly in college sports, I mean, these guys, yes, the NIL, and these guys are getting, hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe in a couple of cases, millions of dollars to go play at these big colleges. And I've mentioned this before. I don't like college football for a number. Include this was just the cherry on top for why I don't like college football. But um, most of those players are not getting these huge deals. And so I don't know, gambling is omnipresent. I mean, you get to a point where it's like, there are these offensive linemen who aren't getting big deals with, you know, car dealerships in Nebraska or whatever. And you're like, hey, man, here's 100 grand in cash. Like, the quarterback's getting sacked a lot in the fourth quarter. You're not going into the NFL. What do you care? Why should he get paid, $500,000 for being the quarterback? You're working just as hard as he is. Let's both win on this. And it just seems like when gambling it becomes
Well,
omnipresent.
Richard, the only reason that doesn't happen is because the money lines and the parlays and the volume on those games are too low for anyone to warrant, jiggering it in such a way. It's only the
Oh, okay,
professional
interesting.
Zaginal, do you
contests
know
can
about
you do
jiggering?
that.
Look,
That's
listen,
that's
listen.
that's really it. No, no, no,
Nope,
no, no.
nope,
That's really
nope,
that's
nope.
where that maybe
Well, hold
maybe
on, hold on, hold
five
on.
college football games a year, six will command that type of outcome. The pros, that's a different story because of
Yeah.
all the gimmicks involved. But college has really been watered down to basically eliminate any sort of that sort of jiggery pokery, as the British like to say, for their football.
Zaganol's a jigger god. Yo, shout out to Zaganol because he done came up. I used to have the Zaganol follow. Shout out Richard Spencer. Shout out Chatical and the listeners still rapping. And I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Thanks
Black
for
All
the
right,
Fist
shout
all
up
out.
right,
for
all
Dave
right, all right,
Foreman.
all right. Spencer, I have an important question for the speakers up here. Okay, 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 okay. Look, I've been sick all day. I didn't even work today. I have a question, and if you don't want to play this fucking game or you don't want to play it, it's your space, whatever. All right, I got a question for the speakers up here and for you, Richard. What is fun until it gets weird? Go.
What is fine
No,
until it
what is
gets
fun?
weird?
What is
Well,
fun until it gets weird?
I don't know. Sex?
Masturbation.
No, like, okay,
What?
Wow.
I'm just trying to, God.
Massaging seats.
Drug use.
JD Vance?
Heroin, I think.
Oh, God. Jesus.
He was never
Shooting
fun.
yourself with
I should say that.
accidentally with Dilaudid in the ER. It's fun until it gets weird. So, I'm just kidding. Disavow,
Oh,
disavow.
you accidentally drugged yourself while
I
being an
did
ER nurse?
one time I did, and I was like, oh,
Well, you were aiming for the patient and you hit your own arm? I mean, isn't that
I
rather
mean, we just won't talk about
uh,
the details.
unusual? Like, I'm not sure I believe that
A
story.
Deliberate drug use.
statistical
You have to
anomaly, I would
look,
say, Richard.
listen. Just, God, just fuck. I was trying to lighten up the mood a little bit.
Is there something you'd like to admit to the space,
No,
LP?
let's talk about we talked about baseball. Let's talk about makeup or some shit. I don't know. God,
No, we're not doing makeup. This is a man space. All
you
right.
said anything.
We
Yeah,
talk
Lucy's not
baseball.
Anything
here. Yeah,
goes,
no makeup.
Spencer. Anything goes.
Well, for
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, but I'm the host
So
here.
let me ask Richard this question: what do you think the likelihood that the Israelis were actually
oh
successful and took
God,
out all those guys,
we have
all
to
those
do
turban
that.
guys?
It's
I
just
don't.
fuck.
I can't believe it.
Well,
For
I think
fuck's
the
sake.
likelihood is high. Yeah, I mean
Oh my!
they're claiming they've destroyed the Hamas leadership. I mean, I think
They're all underground though. These bunkers.
well, okay, but that looked devastating. The images I saw, and B, I mean, they if they didn't get him now, they'll get him with their pagers later. I mean, they are. I don't think that's the question of like, is it effective? I think the question is, how many first off casualties, civilian casualties and destruction are they wreaking, and then also, I mean, you do something this big within the context of Gaza. I mean, I don't see how we're going to avoid a regional conflict in the next year. Period. End of statement.
Seems inevitable at this
Oh,
point.
sorry. I said Hamas. Hezbollah is obviously what I meant.
Yeah, no, I understood that. Yeah, it seems inevitable at this point. Yeah, that. I mean, 40,000 troops dispersed between Turkey, Cyprus, and Jordan, and wherever else. I mean, that's clear. That's not. Oh, we're bolstering Iraq. No. That's a new axis point. It's clear something's up. So
Yeah.
yeah, clearly concerning as well. I mean, that's a fresh commitment, and I can't help but feel the sense that we're Big Daddy again, coming in to make sure the Israelis don't overassert themselves, which is no good. I don't want to be in that position as a citizen.
Well, yeah. I guess
Do
that
we have a
is we are.
choice, Richard?
Yeah. There's no choice, and you have both major party candidates are going to support this as well.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
am surprised. I thought they would have waited. I mean, maybe they're just slowly escalating, and at some point, Iran, which is again in this scenario, according to Israel, Hezbollah's patron, is going to start responding. But yeah, I thought they might wait until there's a new president, but yeah, I think we're headed in that direction. Um, uh, Oblivious sock bucket.
come on, Rich, you know my name.
I don't know your actual name.
My
What is your first name?
name's Tristan, actually.
Oh, okay, Tristan.
Yeah,
That's a cool
yeah,
name.
thanks, man.
Arthurian.
that's a
Yes,
girl's name.
fuck you.
No, it's not. Else, good God.
Wait.
You ever heard of
Tristan's not.
Tristan
Isolde
und
was the
Isolde?
girl. Yes, Isolde was the girl.
Isolde is the girl. First off, it's part of the extended cinematic universe of King Arthur. Tristan and Isolde, and it's a Wagnerian opera. I guess now, because people are so uneducated, they'll like name their daughter Tristan or something. Give me a break. Good Lord.
There was a girl in primary school where I am. She was named very similar, Kristen with a C. But yeah, I used to get teased about it. But I like my name, so fuck you to the woman. But, all in good fun. All in good fun. But yeah, this
Yes.
I haven't seen the latest.
What in the fuck?
I haven't seen the latest.
Go ahead.
All this Hezbollah.
I'm gonna mute you.
But yeah, so they've decapitated the leadership, have they, Richard? Recently.
They've claimed to have done that. My sense is that Zag is skeptical. He thinks they haven't killed Hezbollah leadership.
Skeptical, still skeptical.
Yeah. So
I mean, I don't. That's fine to be skeptical. I don't know if there's any compelling reason
I hope
not to do that.
I hope
that they
haven't,
wouldn't have done that, rather,
because that we can maintain the status quo, which means everyone's not blowing each other up.
wow.
But if they've killed them, then there will be revenge.
Well,
there must be. There has to.
well,
Wait, are you calling me
I think there'll be
uneducated,
revenge,
Spencer? Are you
nevertheless.
calling me uneducated?
LT,
What?
listen.
What?
Yes,
If
we
No,
have.
I asked him, not you,
If
Zach.
you like have a basic knowledge in literature, then the idea that Tristan is a
I
male
thought you said
name is
Tristan,
just
not
totally
Tristan. I mean,
Okay, yes, nonsense.
okay.
thank
Well,
you.
we'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that
Okay,
one.
all right, thank you.
but my name is
Okay.
Tristan, so yeah, I'll give it that. But
It is funny though, like there are all these black names that are sort of made up. There was a funny thing that I think came out from the Washington Post where it was like the most Republican name and the most Democratic name. I can go find it. It was pretty funny. Let me go find it. I liked the tweet. I'll hold on just 1 second. I'll read some of these. But it was. Oh no, I didn't like it. Let me
AJ
someone had
Bauer
a great.
was the guy who tweeted it.
Okay. Oh, did I retweet it or something?
No, he's just a professor.
AJ Bauer.
Yeah, he's a professor of right-wing media at the University of Alabama.
Right-wing media.
Yeah, that's it. There's a right-wing
at Alabama. Is he like in favor?
No. There's like a whole genre of academic study on like specifically right-wing politics. There's like Center of Right-Wing Studies at Berkeley. There's C-Rex in Norway. And yeah, so he's one of these professors.
And there are
David Austin Walsh.
They play banjos in the background.
Oh, I know David Austin Walsh. Yeah. This is so funny. So most right-leaning names. Let me do the most left-leaning names. So this is when they say left-leaning, they basically mean these people are much more likely to vote Democratic. But men 24 and under, Malik, Jalen spelled with a Y, Darius, and then 25 to 35. So these guys, it's funny, you can pick out the sports figures. So Jermaine, Javon, DeAndre, Shaquille, no less.
Oh no.
Then Jamel spelled another way, and then older men named Tyrone, Willie, and then if you're over 75, Javier. Wow, Roosevelt. That's like an old-timey black name. Ernestine, 75 and older. These are like old-timey blacks. Willie, you don't hear Willies much. Ernestine.
What about like Sherwood?
Essie, Hattie, Maddie. Okay. And then if we go to young names, this is so funny. Young, most right-leaning names: Bailey, Ashton, Carly, Ashlyn. So Ashton, Ashlyn, Kaylee, Mandy, Christy, Dee. And then once you get older, it's kind of fun. Like Jolene. You don't hear Jolene anymore. Like Jolene. Yeah.
They're all so terrible on both sides. They're so bad.
Yeah. And then men: Brock, Colton, Dalton, Lane, Braden, Brock again, Lane again, Colton, Heath, Clint, Tanner, Cody. It's always like super white names.
Like the name of football tight ends.
They are. It is. That is what it is.
Do you know that?
It is
The best
starting
white boy's name?
tight
The
ends
best white boy
in the
name. His
NFL.
name is Luke. And yeah,
Luke.
yeah.
But they can be last names too. So it could be like Lane Brock, like starting tight end for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, like Dalton Kincaid, or that was an actual guy.
But
Actually,
what
I
about
think
Luke?
he
What
played for the
about Luke
Cowboys.
Thomas? That is a manly name right there.
Luke. Yes,
Thank you.
but there
Thank
is
you. Thank you.
something. Brock. They have. It's like both names. Like you can make a tight end out of both. Like Colton Brock. That's a tight end. Cody Galen.
Well,
Or
maybe that's why
Chad is
they're
one.
tight ends, Richard.
Chad Lane. Cody Braden. Heath Bart. Like these are all like league leaders and but yeah. But it is funny because I've noticed this as well with my kids whenever I hear about their friends. Like it's almost like there's a white version of black names where it sort of sounds like a name. Like it would
Like
be like
Kaylee spelled Leigh.
yeah, or like Ashley, but it's Ashlyn. I guess that's sort of Reagan is what
Yeah,
Ashton.
Richard, white. It's white trash names. That's what it is.
It's not. I wouldn't
Oh
even say
no,
it's white trash, actually.
disavow. Don't.
But
Bougie
no,
white trash, or
Zach,
like
no.
well, sure. But it's like
N-word white
Mormons in
trash.
Utah. It's like they'll name their kid like Drayden or something, or it's like it sounds like a name you've heard, and it sort of sounds like a last name,
Like
but it's sort of
frosted
made up.
tips, like skateboarding and surfing.
Yeah, all
And
good
of course,
stuff.
all these things. Yes, yes.
But I remember one time. I always remember this story. I was in the airport in Kalispell like 10 years ago, and this woman was there, and she was talking kind of loudly next to me, and she's like, "This is my son, Anakin," or something. She wasn't Southern, obviously. We have Montana. It's more of like, "This is my son, Anakin," and she was like, "We're not fans of Star Wars or anything." I was like, "What?" It was like this makes it weirder. Like you're not a fan of like it would be if you said you're a real big fan of Star Wars, that it would make a lot of sense. But not being a fan of Star Wars and naming your child Anakin, just that was a bit much. It raises so many questions more than it answers.
Was the father's name Luke?
Well, that would be the son. His son is named Luke.
Luke is
I
look. Luke. No. Look. Look.
Maybe
Wait.
like
Spencer.
the
Wait.
representative from
Hold on,
Colorado.
Spencer.
Hold on, no,
No.
it's MySpace
Okay.
LP. Maybe like the representative from Colorado. She would be like a great grandmother at age like 32 or something. So you could have like Anakin give birth to Luke and all this kind of stuff. Leia, but we're not Star Wars.
No, we're not. But I'm telling you, you name your kid. Wait. You name your kid Luke because it's so cute as a little boy, like, oh, Luke. But then when he grows up and he's a man, like he's a manly man, it's like Luke. It's a sexy name. No, Zaganal. No.
It's not.
Don't thumbs down me.
It's pseudo French.
I have my only is a Luke, and he's a manly teenager. But he's
Sure he is.
no,
Sure
he
he
is.
is.
No, he is. No.
Quit doubling down.
No. Look, I will come through my phone and kick your ass. I'm just saying. Like,
Oh God. Oh
yeah.
my.
No. He's almost 16 and he's like he's a good young man. Like he's got good genes. Look at his mama.
Glad to hear
Look at his
this.
It's
mama.
weird how you keep
Yeah.
saying that in that way.
Cat.
Is that just a cat?
Yes, it is.
You
Thank
are
you. Be
so
cynical. Just
progressive.
a cat. Attack.
Look, I know you probably have a mangina, but it's okay. So, anyway, it's okay. Like just a cat? Like what man calls himself just a cat? I'm just saying.
You have to say the full name. It's just a cat who eats pasta. Gotta add that
Okay,
last
that
bit in
sounds
there.
even more gay, but okay, cool. Good.
Because pasta's gay. Okay.
God, help me, Jesus Christ. Whatever.
But
I just messaged Richard. I'm like, let's have it. Shh, Richard, I know it's your space, but give me 1 second.
LT could be on the Ozempic withdrawal,
No,
Richard.
You
what?
sound like you're on uppers.
No,
Sounds
I'm.
like
Oh,
sounds like crime pills. Is this crime pills?
oh my god.
Right, it's crime pills,
You
but a
know what? Are
woman.
you gonna let him talk to me this way, Spencer? Like for real? Come on, Richard.
all right. Yeah, kind of. I kind of am. It's not got it. It's just a little bit of light jabbing going on. Like no one can
Yeah,
insult
exactly.
LT, but
No
you know,
haymakers,
yeah, just a little bit of
My
light,
girly pasta cooking hands could
colorful.
never do a haymaker anyway.
Nothing like Kaiser would would lay on.
No, but
No,
Kaiser
Kaiser got.
he stood up for me before. So
Kaiser got out of hand the other night, though. I think he's like, "You dumb bitch, shut
oh,
the
he
fuck
wasn't
up."
talking to me. He was talking to someone that came into this space. I don't.
Well, we insulted his like favorite Pajit or something, and he got very angry because he had found like a fellow nationalist or some nonsense, like a fellow national
Where is
populist.
Kaiser? I want to
He
hear
wanted to
him go off
defend the
on
honor of
someone.
someone who like became an American citizen last week or something, but who's a big Trump MAGA supporter.
All right. Well,
It was quite pathetic.
just a cat who eats
But
pasta. Do you eat? Have you ever
all right,
eaten?
I'm not going to do this all night.
All
So
right. All
let's
right.
talk
All
about
right.
something
All right.
real.
Substance, but
So
nothing
have
boring.
we
Come on. Come on.
well does
More
anyone
point.
have an opinion on the Oakland A's thing? I'm
Yeah,
genuinely
I'm very
sad.
sad to see this, Richard. Oakland had a lot of really great players: Giambi, Zito,
Yeah.
just to name a few. Of course, there are many others, but my rusty baseball acumen. But
Well, it's just a shame because you're
but
seeing
I would
like
say
them go
Vegas
to
is
Las
not. Yeah, like
Vegas.
Vegas is not a worthy market to receive Oakland Raiders, an iconic franchise, and now the Oakland. It's very sad
You
what's
know,
happening
the other
to
thing,
great cities and great sports teams in this
yeah, the other
country.
thing I would say is that I was born in Boston. I grew up in Dallas, Texas, but I was born in Brookline, and um, not too far away from Fenway Park, in fact. So when I became, even when I was like in single digits, maybe when I was double digits, I became a Red Sox fan just because it was cooler than the Texas Rangers, and I had a claim, in a way. Like I was born there, and they were cursed. They would always get really close and lose, and all of that stuff. I loved it, so I would like listen to it. We had a satellite, and I would get all of the games. I remember Sean McDonough, who's still a play-by-play announcer, and I followed them. I was sort of obsessed with them. Um, and so I've always been a fan. But this is what I would say: when you go to Fenway Park, it does feel like baseball. And I mean, I don't think I've even saying this as a fan. Like, the people watch the game really intently, and they know what's going on. They're not just like eating nachos or whatever. They're really paying attention. They care. They hate the Yankees passionately. Like I'm
It's
sure
an
there are some
iconic
other.
venue.
It's an iconic venue. You should never change it. It's a core
You're in the blender, Richard.
call. Sorry, did I just get knocked off there?
No. Well,
No, we can
Okay,
hear you now. We can hear you
someone
now.
is demanding that I call. This is why I like to go into other people's spaces,
Right.
so I can just leave at will. But um, let me. I'll just make you a co-host, and maybe that means that I could step out. I don't know if it works that way,
It
but
might.
I don't think it does, actually.
I don't.
I think you get. I've done it for I've had like 30-40 minute calls.
Well, why don't
no.
you
Can you
As
just?
co-host
opposed
me so this guy in the purple pill will stop telling me I'm a retard and to shut the fuck up and fuck
Yeah,
off?
but I
calm
I
down.
might have to leave to do this call, so maybe Zag can start a space, and I'll hop in. But what I was saying is, it's all about baseball and following the game. And a Vegas team, like who, I guess there are a lot of locals there, but is anyone going to really care? You know, it's like, let's say they kind of suck,
No, not
you
at
know,
all. It's just people will spend money to go to those
but when there's
venues.
like a big game going on or something and they're
Yeah.
not, you know, part of it is actually like paying attention and following them even when they're below 500. You know, it's about, it's a sort of,
They'll never hope to have a Steelers like fan
right,
base, for
exactly. And
example. Never,
so I don't
never,
know, I
never,
think it
never.
is sort of, I don't know, it's just yeah, I think it's a bit sad.
Richard, if I can
For
jump
Christ's
in for
sake, we can
just a
find a
second.
better city
Sure,
than Vegas to have a pro sports team. Yeah.
go for it,
I
Ro.
I think I think there's something that MLB wants aside from the gambling thing, but I think that there might be something where they want it to be a destination. You know, there is this thing. Ironically enough, the Raiders, they left the Oakland Coliseum a couple years
Yeah,
ago, and they shared that with the A's for decades. And the Raiders were never happy with it. They went to LA, of course, from Oakland, then back to Oakland, and then to Vegas. And of course, next door at the arena in Oakland, where the Golden State Warriors had all this success, well, they went to their new arena in San Francisco. So there is like a decline of Oakland type of aura around it.
no
And
doubt.
I think what MLB wants to do is they want to have the Vegas venue as, like I said, like a destination place. But I do think it will be hard for them to have a fan base there, much like the Raiders have kind of had a hard time getting a foothold in Las Vegas, even though they've stayed on the West Coast. But a lot of opposing teams have gone to their new stadium and they've kind of overtaken it at times,
Yeah,
where it's 60-40 opposing teams. So maybe baseball wants to do it that way, but I'm not so sure they would be able to maintain a fan base in that
It's not
particular
for a
place.
fan base, it's for tourism. It's so people who are visiting Vegas will have like an additional activity
yeah,
to like fly in for. Like the
Exactly, and that's
intention
why.
of like Mark Davis is not to cultivate this, which is a shame. It's like completely strip mining the intention of sport generally.
Right,
Like
and
that you grow
exactly,
up
but
with a team and everything. Like they're positioning these teams. They're stealing it.
and that's what will
yeah.
make it so
I
unique,
just
like
don't think there'll
Richard was
be any
saying.
real fans. It's yeah, it's like you go to Vegas for 3-day weekend, and then on Sunday you're like, oh yeah, let's go, you know, go to a baseball game.
It's a luxury
Sure,
box
yeah.
venue.
Well, it might be the
Luxury
luxury
box.
box
Exactly,
thing as well, but yeah,
Yeah.
which makes it a total 180 compared to Fenway Park, Wrigley Field, some of the hallmarks of
Oh
baseball. It
yeah.
would
I
be a
mean, so
total
is
different,
Gero World.
total
You
different
know,
thing, a new
all
chapter,
these.
if you.
Well, and it's a shame because like Oakland, like you can make fun of Oakland plenty. Like you can make fun of the Oakland Coliseum plenty, but it's like I don't know. I grew up an A's fan because I like grew up from that area,
Mhm.
and it's like the fans who are like passionate Raiders fans. Like I can't tell you how many people I grew up around who still call them like the Oakland Traitors for when they moved to Los Angeles, right? And then when they
Right.
came back, they were just like still so hurt and embittered by this that like, they just stopped watching football entirely. Like, and the same thing's going to happen with A's fans, right? It's just you can't just keep
And
doing this to a city.
no, you can't. And
Right,
not only
exactly.
can you not do this, but it's not just that. But Richard, look at the name change with the Redskins. I was a lifetime fan. I had season tickets. I paid that son of a bitch for
yeah,
years. And I really don't want anything to do with them, regardless of the outcome. I'm tickled by the new quarterback and but they fucked me with that name change and so many others, and I just can't get back on board. It's just there's a bridge too far. You know, that was a meaningful, symbolic name that meant a lot to the general community, and it was really a kick in the dick when that happened.
yeah. I know, I
And we
understand
blame
that.
Snyder for not having the fortitude and the power to stave off such a thing, because many agreed that the logo and the name was just iconic.
Yeah,
And
it's
a real shame
unfortunate. I mean,
that happened.
the other thing is they could have done something Native American themed. Like it seems like there was a way around that issue where they could have still honored the American Indian as opposed to this generic name like Commander, which I guess is it's a nod to the military or something. But it just doesn't really
I mean, the
have.
Cleveland Guardians too.
Yeah, the Cleveland Indians. I mean, look,
That's another
I
tragedy.
get it that Chief Wahoo was, maybe you could just de-emphasize that, but how is the Indians, the name Indian, I mean, it's not an offensive word. It's not meant to be offensive. And I don't know. That's also the Cleveland Indians. That's like a classic franchise. They part of Major League and all this kind of stuff. It does seem like Guardians. I just can't get into that. I remember watching a game of the Red Sox versus the Guardians, and their uniforms are just sort of nondescript. I mean, they kind of vaguely gesture towards Native American let font, I guess, but it's like the most forgettable, boring uniform and boring name. It's just very sad.
It's funny. I'm looking at the Cleveland Guardians logo now, and it looks like something out of like alt-right 2016 stuff.
What do you mean by that?
Like a Roman statue? No, like you look at it, it's like a Greco-Roman.
It's a baseball
statue.
sandwich by the sea or something, some kind of weird design. It's a baseball and then like wings on the side. It is kind of
well, the actual thing
was
just a
different
C.
time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
other
looking
logo.
at the Cleveland Guardians Twitter. Yeah.
It's like, yeah. It who designed that? I mean, that's just so bad. I don't know. The irony as well is we still have the Chiefs and the Florida State Seminoles and maybe some others. Atlanta Braves, right? The fact that they're called the Braves, how could you consider that as offensive? But we're also moving towards just erasure of
Chicago Blackhawks.
Yeah, Chicago Blackhawks. But the general trend is towards the erasure after BLM as well, because this had been a controversy for 20 years or 30 years, but it was after BLM for some weird reason we can't have these team names and logos, and it's a sort of erasure of Native American heritage. At the end of the day, like I get it, Redskin is maybe the one that I'm sort of like, okay, I sort of get how that's offensive, but okay, well, fair enough. But you understand what I'm saying. But
but you're right, Richard.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and Redskin was replaced with something totally Beltway. The Washington Nationals, and before the Texas Rangers went to Texas, the Washington Senators.
Washington
so it was just
Warriors
this kind of like
been acceptable, but
yeah. So it was. They just tried to, I guess, emphasize something again, like the Beltway, Capital Region, kind of goofy, kind of disconnected from the fan base.
Yeah. Do the Nationals have a fan base? I mean, they won a World Series not too long ago.
Yeah, they do, Richard, in Northern Virginia, and like the city. I mean, there's a fan base. It's, it's there, but it's not here. It's not New York, Boston, L.A.
Yeah.
It's not St. Louis.
Yeah.
It's not Cincinnati. It's not that. It's not Philly, perhaps.
Yeah, Philly, they have a huge fan base of passionate.
Huge fan base.
Yeah.
Zuki.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, I've been bad jacketed.
Zuki's return.
Yes, apparently I've been bad jacketed by somebody with over 80,000 followers alleging that I'm a terrorist. That was amazing. I got that clip.
I'm sorry about that. I got bad jacketed too.
All right, let me say this. Now that Suki's here, Zag, why don't you start a new space and I'll come in a little bit. But I need to make this phone call.
All right.
Well, actually, let me do this.
Spencer, just
I can keep it. I can keep it going, and I can make the phone call on my computer.
Make the phone call.
Yeah. So just keep it going because we have like 100. We have 200 people. Okay. I will keep
Make
this.
the phone call. Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Signal. Good morning, LT.
Kaiser.
So, ja.
Wie geht's,
Guten Morgen,
Kaiser?
Richard. So, ja,
Kaiser, hast du andere raus,
sehr gut,
Kaiser?
mir geht's sehr gut. Und
God, I
sehr
love.
gut, ja.
Wait, I love.
Es geht mir gut auch.
I know how and where to push the button. And I'm glad I got to push the button. Kaiser, thank you for side note, thank you for defending me and women. I appreciate that because see that I changed your space title, Spencer. Anything goes, beta males come speak. Let's go. 'Cause- Whoa. You're not a beta male. The
Don't change that space title. Come on now.
Richard let me. So he can
Richard, I think you should
no,
veto
no,
that.
no. Kaiser, thank you. Follow me back or don't. I mean, I do care, but I don't. Thank you for defending me. And Zuki, what's up, buddy? Everybody turn your phones down if you're on your phone.
Oh shit, yeah, I got like yeah, this is a cell phone coming on the space right now. It's a beta male. So like I don't really care. But here's the thing.
I didn't call you a beta male.
Anything goes. All right, change the space. Thank you. As soon as I start speaking, it changes the.
I didn't change anything, dude. Like, come
all
on.
right.
Come on, don't get your
Okay.
vagina.
I was gonna
Don't get
say
your
that
panties in the water.
title felt like we were back in 2016 again for a
Yeah,
second.
it's
You know,
in
I
still
thought that
space.
I had jumped in a
Hey,
time
Auntie G,
traveling
how we
machine.
doing? I see you down there. You crazy woman.
No. I love Auntie G. Go ahead, Zuki.
Okay. But yeah, I've been bad jacketed as a terrorist by a certain account that should probably, I would assume, has better things to do in his life. But it's a very weird thing where.
So you're saying it's a him, not a her?
No, not Auntie G. I'm talking about name redacted 247, but who alleged that I was like suspended for terrorism or something like that. It's pretty wild. He came out on a space. I didn't get suspended for that. I actually I was doing a space on the history of Richard Spencer and Richard Hanania, actually, and a recorded space for that.
Zuki, no one gives a shit.
Zuki, is this
Are
still
you
up so I
again
can
telling
listen
your
to it?
personal life story? Like, honestly, man, Zuki, no one gives a shit, man. Live your life
First, someone
and
accused me
continue
of being a
whatever.
fed. Then I cream pied this girl. That's
Yeah.
every spaced with
Yeah,
Zuki in
no.
it.
Disavow that.
That's like the
But
most
Maggie,
base
that's a
thing,
problem.
base narrative, actually.
This is the participation medal kind of mentality.
Things were quiet about Zuki for a
we
few
are
days.
we are a group. Let's talk about our feelings all the time, and no one gives a shit, man. Let's talk about topics. Like, honestly.
All right, Nasrallah's dead, so.
Well, personally,
Yeah.
Nasrallah's
Zuki,
dead.
Kaiser,
this
guess
might be a
what?
hot
War in
take.
I
Lebanon,
just
I guess,
got
as long as
a
Nasrallah's dead.
new uniform. I will be DMing you, Kaiser, shortly with that shit. I am so.
All right, just a cat that is God. You're a cat. Look, I have a cat too. I've had one for almost 43 years. So maybe you need to not be a cat anymore, or at least
I
say
hope he pisses on your favorite socks.
no, he doesn't, and he is a she because she's always been a she. But I digress.
Do you have
Anyway,
kids?
do I
I was
have
only
kids?
asking. Yeah, 'cause you're a cat lady.
The
I was
answer
just
is
asking.
no, obviously. An e-girl here.
But I don't know. Like
You know
maybe you
what?
die alone and like it run out of fancy feast
No,
and
I
eat your
haven't.
face
No,
off.
no, I know you're a progressive fuck too, so it's fine. Listen,
wow.
Every
listen.
time you make a woman a co-host, everyone immediately gets mic is muted by the host so she can screed on about her worthless
Well,
nonsense.
no, I do have a
Yo,
kid.
just the cat. Follow
This
back,
is
bro.
worse than a woman president.
Okay, well, I'm not ever running for president, but what fuck you. Just a cat.
He didn't say that. He said this is worse than that.
All right,
He
well,
wasn't saying that you would.
what the fuck ever. All right, listen, just a cat. I know the only pussy that you can ever get is naming your Twitter handle just a cat. That's it. I'm sorry for you. That's probably only vagina that you'll ever think about having. But
A
When you
pussy is a
use the word
vagina.
vagina, you takes it out. You
Yeah,
ruin the
that's
oh
joke.
wait,
It
let
only
me
exactly what I
works
was
if
gonna
you
let
say.
only
me.
refer
You
to it as a
failed.
pussy.
He
Swing
keeps
and a
trying to
miss with that
request up
one.
here. Here we go. No, everybody mute up. Where'd he go?
I
He
think you
keeps
should meet up.
requesting. Pepe, shut up. Where's shut up.
Are you going to bring like your collection of dysgenic like ethot followers who defend you in every space that every mid blonde geriatric
I'm a
has with her.
woman. I'm a woman. You know what I was born to do? I was raised to do? Be defended,
Complain.
protected, and be no. I was born
Ruin
to nurture.
conversations.
No. As a woman, I was raised to be protective and nurturing of my man, and the man is supposed to protect and keep the woman safe.
There's the mute.
If I didn't do that mute that time, that was Zach. If you don't know this by now, then
No, it wasn't.
okay, then maybe it was Spencer. It was not me that time. I will always admit to that.
The Richard's on the phone. Don't lie, LT.
I did not. Don't lie,
Woman
Zach.
moment. She will
Johnson
never admit she did it.
is
It's like when women fart.
Richard's in his 40s. He can do over 225 on the decline still. So I mean, he'll protect you.
What?
When
Look,
you
he'll
guys going to go on your
protect you
date?
from Montana grizzly
LT.
bears.
All right, hold
LT,
on, hold on,
honey,
hold on,
honey.
hold on,
Well,
Auntie. Hold on. And
Richard's
he
still
drops
capable of
down.
dating women in
Every
their
time I
20s
bring
and
that
their 30s. He
motherfucker up,
can
he
do
drops
younger than
down.
LT. So.
LT, did you
Nobody
just queef?
cares, LT.
LT, don't live out to the stereotype of the female
I
co-host.
was
Don't
just,
make us bring Miss G in
No,
here
I
and give
love
you a
Auntie
lesson.
G. Let her
no,
go.
This
Boys,
is worse
mute
than
up.
Lucen as a
LT,
co-host.
listen to Zag, honey. You're embarrassing women
Yeah.
worldwide. Please,
Actually,
please,
Lucen,
Pepe,
bring the
Yeah,
brown
Pepe,
Auntie's
let
woman,
me
had
fly
Lucen,
she's
home.
as
had
a
a few sharp
co-host.
Pepe,
days.
Actually,
Pepe, shut up.
She's
I'm
had a few
handling
sharp
this.
days.
Please, let me talk to the woman. Pepe,
No
shut
one
your
asked you
fucking
to
pie
handle
hole.
this.
Thank you.
Sheesh, why are
Shut
all
up.
women in
Shut
Twitter
up,
spaces
Pepe.
like this?
LT, honey, listen
Christ.
to me, honey. Listen, honey. You need to stop being so crazy. Let stealth virologists and those other psycho women be this menopausal psycho. We don't need those kind of women on
I'm
our
not
side.
menopausal. I'm not
Well,
menopausal.
okay, but you're acting
Are you?
like it, honey.
You sound
Okay,
like you are.
sweetie. Yes, see, I agree with you there, honey. So you need to calm down a little bit. Maybe don't drink so much, whatever energy drinks or whatever you're doing, honey. I love you to death.
Chardonnay.
Okay, Chardonnay, whatever, sweetie. You got to stop. You're embarrassing us women on this side of the aisle. Okay, I love you to death, but please, honey, mellow out. Okay.
she already
LT
got a full
survives on a
Yes,
hysterectomy.
diet.
ma'am.
In Germany, there would have already been a trial
Yes,
and
ma'am.
sort of
Yes, ma'am. Auntie
like an
G, I love you.
inquisition.
I love you. You know I love you. So there's that. But I wanted Red Warrior to say something. He's called me a retard and like
You
nobody
kind of deserve
cares.
it,
He's
honey.
talking
Honey,
shit
you
about.
kind of deserve it.
LT, you sound like you live on a diet of like sparkling wine and uppers, and that's it.
They're called
Are you on
wine coolers,
Valium?
you dick.
Yeah, like Chex Mix, a peanut butter brittle.
peanut butter brittle and Valium. That's it.
God, if you can't say it without stuttering, then you can't. Then you failed.
Oh, my
Red
cat
Warrior,
jumped
go
on my
ahead.
back.
Nope,
I'm
nope. Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead.
Shut up, bitch. Oh my god. Look, we came here to listen to Richard and other people talk, and all you've done since I've been on the space is to interrupt. You've
Yeah.
just interrupted, made it about stupid shit. It's what value have you added?
I haven't added any value because it's 11 fucking 15 at night on a
Go to
Friday
bed. Where
night.
are your
There you go.
I
children?
want to.
Where's your
That's the time to add the value, not to
And
complain.
Spencer, when he gets back, I hope he fucks you up. So fuck you. Thank you.
I
Whoa,
think,
whoa,
guys,
whoa,
Zaggy,
whoa,
listen,
whoa.
second to LT. I think it's time.
Go
I
ahead,
think she's
Kaiser.
had a
That's the
bit too much
glitch.
rosé for the night. She needs to go to bed.
Okay, guys.
Now Richard can't
It's
hear.
time for a song. It's time for a song, and
Now
I will
Richard can't
start.
hear the space.
Oh, thinking about our
I
it's
love
only
how
you and
tone deaf
me,
Kaiser is,
young
bro.
and
Just sing
wild and
Erica or some
free.
shit, like something Americans
Now nothing can
Bro.
take
recognize.
you away from me.
That's the
We've
night
been down that road before, but that's over now. You keep
Kaiser,
me
can you
coming
sing
back
"Tomorrow
for more,
Belongs to Me"?
baby. You're all.
Look, Kaiser, hold
Did he
on.
say poopy?